the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me.
Hello, Miami. Thank you so much for watching 305 Sports Now. I am your host, Will, and I'm very excited. As your Kings are 5-0 heading into a bye week to take on Louisville on the 17th of October, Friday at The Rock. But I'm excited because I've been wanting to do this episode since the beginning of the season, but I wanted to see where Miami would be after the Florida State game, in which now we know they are 5-0, and I've been wanting to do an episode on Mario Cristobal's career so far at Miami, in which I'm calling Building an Empire. The Miami Hurricanes are the talk of college football, as they have been a darling and a sensation based upon the fact that this is the year where they're definitely doing it on both sides of the ball. It seems and it has always seemed that Miami's always had that one thing. You have a good defense, but the offense is stagnant. We have a good offense, but the defense sucks. This is the year where it seems that Miami has finally got it together. It's not perfect. There's things we need to clean up, and there's some things I'd like to see moving forward. But the bottom line is, though, this is as good as we have been in a very, very long time. But it starts with one man, and that man is Mario Cristobal. Yes, Mario Cristobal. And the first thing I want to talk about is Mario is very well known as a very elite recruiter. And when he first took over for Miami, Manny Diaz was just fired, and he needed to work on the recruiting aspect of things. Now, what people forget, because of Manny being rumored in the hot seat, it got to a point where Miami's recruiting class was ranked like 60th in the country. So when Mario finally takes a job after leaving Oregon, he pretty much salvages this recruiting class for 2022. Okay, not a full cycle, but Miami ranked 16th in the country and the ACC had the third best recruiting class. Okay, that year, Mario's first year, the team finishes 5-7. But then it's the selling of the vision. Okay, 2023, and then you have Miami having the number 7th recruiting class in the country, a top 10 class. The first top 10 class is 2018. And then you have the number 1 recruiting class in the ACC. Then again in 2024, number 4th ranked in the country as well, and number 1 recruiting class in the ACC. Now the funny part about this is that 2025, was considered a bit of a downer. Let's look at my notes, guys. Considered a bit of a downer because in 2025 they ranked 13th, still having the number 1 recruiting class in the ACC. But we're starting to see some of the guys of the 2025 class really start to ball out, as guys like, for example, like Bryce Fitzgerald and Malachi Toney that are killing it, one on offense and one on defense. And at the moment, it's ongoing, of course. Miami has the number 8 recruiting class in the country, okay, with a chance to go top 10, second ranked so far in the ACC. I think that is going to absolutely change, okay? And amongst these guys as well that they brought in recently, of course, is they just got a verbal commitment from Jackson Cantwell. And, of course, we talk about Hayden Lowe, who's out for the season. One in the 25 cycle and the other one in the 26 cycle as well. Now, one of the things that Mario has done, okay, is that he's placed a great emphasis on the trenches. Football is a simple game with complicated schemes. It's built from the inside out. If you can win with your front four and have a staunch 5, the sky's the limit for your football team. Most teams, let's go a little bit in the professional football field a little bit. In the NFL, teams that have a good defensive line and a good offensive line, those are the teams that have a tendency of winning Super Bowls. It's no different in high school, Pee Wee football, or even college. Win the trenches, win the game. And we have really, as Canes fan, been really, 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 really happy with what we've been seeing so far. But one of the things I really wanted to show you, okay, again, is I'm just going to go a little bit down here as well. Okay, is pretty much how Mario has fared. Okay, how Mario has fared as far as, actually, you know what? I'll just share it with you guys. Give you guys a little bit of a glimpse here. I'll share with you guys what I'm looking at. These are my notes, and these are my numbers. Okay, so I just want you to show it. I just want to show a little bit. I made the stat sheet myself. Okay, but I want to go over just a little bit. Okay, so Mario Cristobal from 2022 to present, he's been the head coach. Best class rank was 4th in 2024. The average class rank is 9. Okay, so basically he's averaging a top 10 class every year every year. Manny Diaz, who coached from 2019 to 2021, his best class rank was number 10 in the country. That's the year they picked up James Williams, Okay, but the average is 15. That 2021 class, that was a COVID class where visits were restricted. All right, and then Mark Richt, okay, average 12. Okay, the best number was average 12 rank recruiting class. Best year was number 8. He was pretty much piggybacking off of that 10-win season. So what they call Storm 18, the Gilbert Frierson, DJ Ivy year, Miami finished 8th. And then Al Golden, which they said the numbers were a bit skewed. Best class was 2014 at number 12. Uh, average rank 20. He was known for stacking his classes. That's a little bit different than what Mara's doing, where he's stacking a lot of with quality blue chippers. So that's a pretty big thing as far as what we're seeing. All right, Rick had the potential, but there was a bit of a downside after that 2017 season as well. And Coach Diaz, it was a lot of underachieving that happened under Coach Diaz during the process as well. But the number one thing is the priority in the trenches. And I want to highlight exactly who Mario has gotten in 2023. That is the year that Miami landed Francis Mauigoa, okay, and Francis Mauigoa, and also the Pancake Honcho as well. In 2024, three top O-line prospects were signed. We know that SJ Alafaituli was one of them as well. In 2025, we got Cannon Pickett and Ben Cogden as well. I love the Cannon Pickett pickup because Cannon can run block and he can also pass protect as well. Ben Cogden is a very, very, very physical tackle. And of course, Jackson Cantwell, who is the number one tackle in the country. And depending on which recruiting site you look at, is the number one player in the country as well. On the defensive side of the ball, okay, you had that magnificent class of Ruben Bain, who comes in 2023. Then you have Justin Scott in 2024, Armando Blunt, and Marquise Lightfoot as well. The trenches were a big priority. In 2026, you got Tyson Bacon and Anthony Kennedy as well. So this is really, really a big strong suit for the Canes, okay? In 2023, Miami was 5th nationally in trench rankings, okay? They were a top 3 team in 2024, top 5, and top 5 even with a quote-unquote weaker class. 13 not too bad, but they were still top 5 nationally in terms of recruiting the trenches, okay? And then 2026, they pick up, Anthony Kennedy, they pick up Charles as well, and they pick up Jackson Cantwell. So yeah, so physicality is a major, major aspect for the Miami Hurricanes. It's also a good thing too, because if you win again, if you continue to win the trenches as well, I'm sorry, I didn't get to show it to you. Sorry, guys. I'll just pop it up quickly. The problem is that when I do my StreamYard, on a lot of occasions, I think I'm showing it to you, but I'm really not. So because I'm looking at the screen opposite way. But you can see what I'm looking at here, numerically speaking. I'll go back to the coaching numbers. I think that's something that you guys will like to see. Again, this was Cristobal's averaging a rank of 9, while Manny Diaz was 15, Rick was 12, and Al Golden was 20. Okay, and these are just basically a sheet created or chart created for the top prospects that particular year as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a short break, okay? So we can hear from our sponsor, official sponsor of 305 Sports Now, which is Fan Outfitters. Ooh, Miami. I am proud to announce that Fan Outfitters is the official sponsor of 305 Sports Now. With locations in Pembroke Pines, Davie, and Kendall, you can find the latest gear and accessories for all your favorite South Florida teams. Teams like your Miami Hurricanes, your Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, Inter Miami, Miami Marlins, and many, many more. So if you ever find yourself in the Pembroke Pines area, Davie, or Kendall, please stop by Fan Outfitters, the official sponsor of 305 Sports Now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're ever in the Kendall area, Davie area, or Pembroke Pines area, please shop at Fan Outfitters, official sponsor of 305 Sports Now. Get your best gear in Dolphin gear, Canes gear, Marlins gear, and of course, your Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. I just want to re-show you this chart. Okay, before I went on break, I was going to show it to y'all as well. And in 2023, these are the defensive and offensive line ranks. Okay, in 2023, Miami had the 5th best offensive line ranking in the country, and they had the 10th best defensive line ranking in the country. In 2024, that was pretty much tied, both 3 and 3. That's the Justin Scott year, and that's also the Marquise Lightfoot year as well. And in 2025, again, fifth best offensive line, eighth best defensive line. And for heading into 2026, third best offensive line. We got 7 linemen committed in this recruiting cycle and the fifth best defensive line class. And we're not done yet because we're still in the running. We're still in the running for Anthony Tank Jones, who is the Oregon commit, who everybody seems to want as well. And I don't think we've slowed down on James Johnson either. So I think that's a possibility for a potential flip. Maybe, maybe not. That Texas money is really good, but Texas is really struggling right now. So we'll see how that goes. All right, as well. Okay, so moving forward just a little bit more. I want to go over the team as well in 2025. Last season, we were very imbalanced. We had a very below average defense, okay, and we had a top-notch offense. We were ranked last season number 1 in the country in terms of total offense, but this year is not the same. But I did say that we could still get to 40, and I'll get near 40 points a game, but I will get to that as well as time progresses. I'll give you a second. I do think these numbers are a little skewed because if you look at Miami's defeated 3 ranked teams, so the strength of schedule in the early portion, the first quarter of the season, has been very strong for Miami. So I do think that these numbers will eventually even out as the season progresses for everybody else, including the top 10 teams in the country. But Miami at the moment, which I think is a pretty solid number, is averaging 35 points per game. We can do better. I think that we've left points on the field on several occasions. That includes a Notre Dame game, of course, the Florida game, in which we got robbed of 7, and also the Florida State game as well. I think we left some points on the field there. Total yards, we're averaging 428 yards. That's 40th in the country. Passing yards per game, 264. That's 41st in the country. Rushing yards per game, a running game is pretty elite, and it's 64. I know we're much better than the 64th ranking. But the completion percentage for Carson Beck and our quarterbacks altogether is 73% for the season. That's a top 20 quarterback completion percentage, which is what you want from your quarterback to make sure he's accurate and doesn't turn the ball over. Yards per play, 6.4, 35th ranked in the country. Red zone efficiency, we scored at almost a 95% clip. That's top 10 in the country. And Miami has very little turnovers, with literally under a turnover a game. All right. And of course, you know, the Carson Beck numbers, 1,200 yards, over 200 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, only 3 picks, 73% completion percentage. Mark Fletcher's having a very solid season with 5 touchdowns, 428 yards rushing, and CJ Daniels with 5 touchdowns and 269 yards receiving as well. Now let's go into the defense. All right. The defense, we all know, has been very good this year. Again, these numbers I think are just going to get better as the season rolls along. I think Miami could be a top 10 defense at the end of the season. Points allowed per game, 13.6. I'll take it. The Canes averaged against ACC opponents last season over 30-plus points per game. All right, over 30-plus points per game in the ACC. Right now, we're at 13.6 for the entire season. Florida State scored 19 points in one quarter. That's because it's Florida State's a rivalry game. I'll throw that out the window. But I don't think that you'll see that happen because we will be facing the athletic quarterback this upcoming schedule, comparable that to like Thomas Castellanos. Average yards per game on defense allowed, 276. That's a top 20 defense. Allowing rushing yards per game, 87.4. That's 14th best in the country. Passing yards per game, 48th. Sacks, 12 total, top 25. And turnovers forced, 5 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles. Miami is absolutely balling. Ruben Bain is considered the top defensive player in the country. Leads the team in tackles with 26 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 interceptions. That is a Mario Cristobal recruit. Hakeem Mesidor was picked up in the portal, is having a career year with 24 tackles, 3.5 sacks. Both him and Bain are in every single play. True freshman Bryce Fitzgerald, who basically came here during summer, 3 picks, 43 yards on those returns as well. Miami is the epitome of a balanced offense. When Miami was elite and good, that is what Miami was. They were a very balanced offense and defense. The defense made practices very hard for the offense, and the offense ate against their opponents those Saturdays. So that's exactly what we're seeing right now. That was the goal for Coach Cristobal, and we are seeing it come to fruition. All right, ladies and gentlemen. If this continues, listen, my boy Q says some teams recruit, other teams pick and choose. If Miami continues at the rate they're going, if they're competitive all the way throughout the season, if they make a college football playoff and go deep into the playoffs, Miami is going to be one of those teams, all right, where they're going to pick and choose. And I'm not worried about overhyping players. because this man that is leading the University of Miami as far as football goes, he knows how to spot talent, both in the portal and in recruiting. You're not going to hit on every guy, okay? But he's hitting on a lot of guys, okay? Both in the portal and also recruiting. Keontae Scott, Jacoby Jones as well, CJ Daniels as well, ballers, all right? Absolute ballers. Marty Brown, baller. Last season, Dave Martinez, baller. I'm talking about these portal guys, okay? And the recruits, and you're starting to play as a recruit. CC Malinois was a day one starter. And it's going to be probably Jackson Catwell being plugged in into that position next season as a starting true freshman as well. Okay, CC's going to make a lot of money in the NFL, and it's because of Coach Cristobal and Coach Mirabal as well. All right, and of course Armando Blunt, a Mario Cristobal recruit. Justin Scott, another Mario Cristobal recruit. SJ Alafaituli, who's been our big fullback, Mario Cristobal. So the talent is being spotted and it's being utilized the right way. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the Louisville game. I'm very worried. I think Miami will be tested because Louisville always plays this well and they know how to scheme against us. Okay, their head coach is great at coming up with plays, but I do believe that Miller Moss, being a pure pocket passer and not as athletic as some of the quarterbacks we face this season, if he holds the ball for more than 2 seconds, he's a sitting duck against our front four. So we'll see how they're able to handle that, because also, if Miami does blitz, they tend to get home as well. So I do think that Miami will be very successful against the Louisville offense. But again, I won't undersell it, because I do think Louisville's coaching staff knows how to scheme, and they have a week to prepare as well as we do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of Coach Cristobal as a Miami Hurricanes head coach. Have a wonderful day. God bless. See you soon. All about the U. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye, everybody.